Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host, Mikey. Today we're going to do a sweet lamb crochet hat. It's available in 3 sizes from 16 inches in the diameter of the forehead to 20 inches. Now, if I was to do this for myself, I would stay within the 20-inch information. When you're having patterns like this, there are 3 sets of instructions that are being provided all within the same. So it says here, an example is chain 1, work 54, 63, 72. So we got the smallest size of 54. The next size is 63 and 72 single crochet. Here would be my size, so it's the largest size. So whenever there's information that is different between all of the different sizes, it's in parentheses in the pattern itself. So we are going to use a 5mm size H crochet hook, and I'm going to be using Red Heart Super Saver when I'm teaching this today. I'm going to begin, and we're going to start the band. So let's do the band, and the band is the same size for everybody. So you just have to change the length of your band. That's the only difference between all the sizes. So as you're starting, you're going to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once you have the 7 done, then you are going to begin row number 1. Row number 1, you're going to go second chain from the hook, and you were just going to get the back hump of the chain because I think it looks nicer. If you don't want to do that, that's up to you. And then just single crochet across. So with this, you're going to end up with 6 single crochet. If you need the pattern counts or for the rounds, or for the rows, you can find that. See the pattern information in the video description. There's a link, and you can get and download this pattern if you don't need my help today. So there's going to be 6 single crochet going across the band. And now let's talk about the remaining of the band to get yourself to the size. So to do row number 2 all the way to the size that you would like to do, you are going to then just chain 1, and there is no back loops at all. You're just going to single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across. So there's always going to be only 6 single crochet. So what I need you to do is to go back and forth to get the size that you're looking for. Okay, so for the smallest size, you are looking for this to be 16 inches, and the next size is 18 inches, and then the largest size is 20 inches. So just go back and forth, and when you go to measure, just lay it down, don't stretch it, and just measure it, and you're good to go. I will see you at the end when I get this size that I need. So I'm back with the band, and I have the size that I'm looking for. I'm doing the smallest size on camera, but everything is just a mathematical change, and we'll be talking about those as we go. So you will either have the sizes that you're looking for. So you're going to have the small, the medium, and the large. So at the end of this band here, we need to run amount of stitches. It says work 54 stitches, single crochet for the small size, 63 or 72. Here's my tip for you. What I'd recommend is just pull this yarn out, okay, leave the loop, and you are going to just fold this thing in half, exactly in half. Right at the fold, you are going to place in a stitch marker. So it can be a spare piece of yarn if you want to. And what you want to do is that when it says work a certain number, it means that you have to squeeze a certain amount between the 2 edges. And what can happen on this is that when you're counting, you can get paranoid and have one side be too heavy with stitches, and by the time you get to the other side, you realize that you don't have enough, or you got way too many left, and so you end up with an unequal balance. So by putting a stitch marker in the middle, what you can say to yourself, if you're doing the smallest size, by the time you get to that stitch marker, there should be 27 stitches in. If you're doing the smallest size, by the time you do the medium, there should be 31. And by the time you do the large, it should be 36. So my goal then for this would be to make sure in the smaller size that when I go to single crochet, by the time I hit the stitch marker, I'm going to have 27, 31, or 36, and then just continue to count. Therefore, this will make it in equal balance on both sides. Okay, so what happens in this is that sometimes you can get paranoid and add too many stitches at the beginning because you don't think you're gonna it's gonna work out, and so therefore you'll have an unequal balance. So what I need you to do is that I need you to work single crochet across, and I'll show you how that's done in a moment. So to do this, you're just going to work along the side edge. So just chain up 1 and come into the side. And as I said, you need to hit that number by the time you hit that stitch marker. So in my case, it's 27. So just start counting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So if I only have 7 stitches left for here, is that going to be too much or not? So I got 20. So just look at it. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So you can see that I should have been here for the 27. So what's happening here is that I'm being a little bit too close together. So I need to space it out a little bit more and then get to my number that I need. So you'll either have your 27, what numbers were they? They were 27, 31, or 36. And this will help you determine your distancing. So if I kept on this trajectory, it would mean that I would probably finish way too early on this side. So this is a good way to stay the balance. So get the number that you need all the way across. Another tip I can leave for you, I now have my 27 stitches that I had right here. So make that the number. So it's either 27, 31, or 36. So when you go to space out the remaining here, if you end up being too much or too short, what you can do is just frog out, and you know that the stitch marker is sitting on the 27th one or the 31st or 36th. So you only frog back to the stitch after that. So therefore you'll have the equal balance on the other side as well. So that's just how it goes. I'll see at the end of the row. Once you have your number, just pull out your stitch marker, and I want to reposition that stitch marker in so that this is the right side of the work. So I'm just going to just put a holder in. I don't know if this is going to be important, but I'm going to do it anyway. So whenever I see the tail hanging out, this is the right side of the work. So the right side means it's a side that people will see when they're looking at something. So this is the side that if you were wearing this hat that people would be looking at, and this would be next to a forehead right here. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to begin and continue along our pattern. Rows number 2, 3, 4, and 5 is a repeat, and so we're going to do it our first time and then repeat it a certain amount of times depending on the size that you're working on. We're now going to start doing the bobble work. So in row number 2, you're going to chain 1, and the first 2 will be a single crochet. And now a bobble is going to be into the next one. So how you do that is that you yarn over and into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and hold it. Do not finish that stitch. You want to do that 5 times. So that was 1 of 5. Okay, so then yarn over and in, pull through 2, and hold. Yarn over and in, pull through 2, and hold. That's the 3rd time. It's yarning over and in, pull through 2, and hold. And then yarn over and in, pull through 2, and hold. You should see a total of 6 loops by the time you do that 5 times, because the first loop is before we started the stitch. So to have the bobble suspended, we need to have this, so we yarn over and pull through only the first 5, leaving the last one, and then we pull through the final 2. And when you do that, it naturally jumps to the opposite side of the work. That's what bobbles do. And because we're on the wrong side of the pattern right now, it will pop out to the good side of the work when people are looking at somebody wearing this. So the repeat pattern going across then is the next 2 stitches will each be a single crochet, and then a bobble into the next, and I'll show you that again. So just start, yarn over and in to the stitch, pull through 2, and hold. Yarn over and in, pull through pull through 2 and hold. You're looking for 6 loops on your hook. So I keep my eyes trained on how many loops there are. There should be 6, which there are, so that means I've done it 5 times. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through only the first 5 loops, and then yarn over, pull through the final 2. And then the next 2 stitches are going to be single crochet, like that. So you're going to do this, and I will see you at the end of this row, number 2. If your stitch counts are right, the very last stitch will be a bobble. Because we are doing a seam line on the back, these bobbles will help cover that seam line because they'll be 3-dimensional. Just like that. Pull through all 5 and then pull through the final 2 to finish. We're now going to turn our work and do the next row, number 3. Row number 3 is just a single crochet row, so you're just going to chain up 1 and use the top of the first bobble because that's the last stitch you did. And just keep in mind that there's 2 single crochets in between each of these bobbles. Because we've done the bobble the way they are, there's only 1 position that you can actually put in these single crochets on the tops of the bobbles. So usually when it's a 2 together stitch like that, there looks like there's 2 spaces to put it in, but the way that the bobble is formed, it's only 1. So just put in 1 stitch into each of the single crochet and bobbles as you go along, and I'll see you at the end. I'll have my work turned and ready for row number 4. So number 3 is done. Row number 4 is about changing the positioning of the bobbles so that they're not aligned with these guys, so that the bobbles, when the person is wearing it, doesn't travel up a straight line. It looks like it's zigzagging because it is. So everybody, what you're going to do, regardless of your size, you're just going to chain up 1 and place a bobble into the very beginning. Okay. I'm looking for those 6 loops to make my life easier. Yarn over, pull through the first 5, and then yarn over, pull through the 1, or the final 2. And so the next 2 in a row are going to be a single crochet each. I'll do another one, so a bobble into the next. The bobbles are a bit of a yarn pig, but that's what gives it the look. And then single crochet the next 2. Okay, and so when you turn it around, you're going to notice that the bobbles are not aligned anymore. They're off to the side, and you're going to repeat this sequence all the way across. So it's a bobble and then 2 single crochet and then bobble, 2 single crochet. I will see you at the end of the row in a moment. So I'm coming to the end of this row. I only have 2 stitches left. It looks like that there's more, and that's because the bobble is looking projected on this side, and that's what we're looking for, because when we go to put these sides together like this, the bobble here is going to kind of overlap a little bit with the other one. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So let's turn our work and do row number 5, and these bobbles should look in a different position than the last time we did bobbles. So let's do row number 5. Row number 5, just chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each single crochet, and just 1 at the tops of the bobbles. And you'll do that all the way across. And when I come back, I will have that done, and then we'll talk about your repeating, because you'll have a bit of homework before you can move on to the crown. So we have to repeat rows number 2 through 5 a certain amount of times depending on the size that you're making. I'll be right back in a moment. After you've completed row number 5, you are going to repeat rows 2 through 5 a certain amount of times. For the small size, it's going to be 2 more times, and then the medium to large size is 3 more times. So what I just do on the pattern is that I write 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I'm doing the smallest size, I'm going to repeat that only 2 more times. And then it says to work row number 2. So then you'll put this. So if you are doing the medium to large size, you're going to want another column of that. but you still need to do that extra one of number 2 before moving on to shaping the crown. So please do your repeats, and I'll be back in just a few seconds as I'll have that done, and I'll be right back in a moment. So now I have this done. I'm doing the small size, so I repeated rows number 2 through 5 twice more, and then I did row number 2 once again. So row number 2 is the bobble stitch that you see. So we're now going to move on to the crown for all sizes, and we're going to begin to do that next. In the video description, you're going to be able to see the pattern link for this if you'd like to follow it along. Now, if you are doing the small size, we're going to be changing directions for all of the different sizes as you go. So for the small size, it says single crochet in the next 4, the medium size single crochet in the next 5, and then single crochet the next 6 if it's the large version, and then single crochet 2 together. So you're going to choose the number, either 4, 5, or 6 of how many stitches in a row before 2 together, and this is going to happen every other row as we're going to shape the crown. So I will mention that as I'm going, and we're going to start with shaping the crown for row number 1 for all sizes. So you're going to begin all sizes, chain 1, and you were going to single crochet in either the first 4, 5, or 6. You choose depending on your one. In my case, it's number 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're using every stitch, including the tops of the bobbles. And so once you get the number that you need, you're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So just going in, yarning over, pulling it through, and then going to your next stitch, yarning over, pulling through, and then pull through all 3, and that's a 2 together. And then you're going to continue then to do the number that is required, either 4, 5, or 6 single crochets in a row. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's the number for mine, and then 2 together. Okay, so please do this all the way across. We're going to be eliminating out stitches, and I will see you at the end of the row. I'm going to turn my work and get ready for row number 2. Okay, row number 2, we're not going to be changing the sizes for anybody. You're all going to do the same thing. So you're going to chain 1 and apply a bobble into the first single crochet. Okay, got it. And then the next 2 in a row will each be a single crochet. And you're going to repeat that across. So the next one is a bobble and then 2 single crochet. So please do this all the way across for row number 2. Okay, row number 3, you have to choose the number that matches your size. So you're going to chain 1, and you are going to single crochet either in the first 3 if it's small, 4 if it's medium, and 5 if it's large, and then do a single crochet 2 together. So in my case, I've already chained 1, so I'm going to single crochet just in the first 3, and then do a 2 together. So choose the number that you need, and then a 2 together, and do that all the way across for row number 3. Row number 4, here we go. We're going to chain 1, and this is going to be for all sizes. You are going to single crochet in the first 2, and then a bobble, and you'll do that all the way across. Okay, pull through, and then single crochet the next 2, and then a bobble. Please do this all the way across for row number 4. Row number 5 is another reduction. Choose the number that matches your size. You're going to all chain 1, and you're going to single crochet either in the first 2 if it's small, 3 if it's medium, 4 if it's large, and then a 2 together. So in my case, it's 2. So first 2, single crochet, and then a 2 together. Okay, so do the size that you're doing and go all the way across, and meet me back here in a few moments. I'll have it turned and ready for the next row. Row number 6 for everybody. Here we go. We're going to chain 1. You'll put a bobble into the first one. Okay, and then the next 2 are by itself. And you're going to repeat that all the way across on all of the sizes. So bobble and then 2, and then bobble and then 2. Please do that across for row number 6. Row number 7 is another reduction. Choose the number that you would prefer for your size. So you're either going to choose 1, 2, or 3. So in my case, it's 1. So 1 is small, 2 is medium, 3 is large. So chain 1 and 1 single crochet into the first if it's that, or it's 2 in a row or 3 in a row depending on your size, and then a 2 together. Okay, so do the number that you're supposed to and then 2 together all the way across for row number 7. Okay, row number 8, back to doing the bobbles again, and just chain up 1. This is for all sizes. 1 single crochet into the first 2, and then a bobble into the next. And you'll be repeating that across for row number 8. Please do that. I'll see you back here in a moment. So we're currently finished row number 8. So what I need to do is that for all the 3 sizes, there's different sets of instructions for all of it. And so I have to take you through all of the different sizes, and I'm going to do it verbally, but I am going to demonstrate the 16th inch one, which is what I'm doing, but I'll do that after I've talked you through that. If you want to download the pattern, as I said for the millionth time, you can see that in the video description. Let's take a look. I don't know why I'm being sassy. For the smallest size version only, row number 9 is going to be chain 1, single crochet the first 2 together, and you're going to keep doing that, and you'll do that so 9 times essentially. Going across, you'll end up with 9 stitches left. And then row 10, then you're going to chain 1, you're going to bobble into the first single crochet, and then single crochet the next 2, and you're going to repeat that all the way across, and at the end of it you're going to finish it off and just weave in your ends. What we want to do is actually, it says to leave an 18-inch tail, because what we'll do is we'll sew that together at the end down the back seam up there. If you are doing the medium size, this is for the 18-inch, row number 9, you are going to do chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 together, and you're going to repeat that across. So single crochet, the next stitch, 2 together. Then in row number 10, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to bobble into the next single crochet, which is the first stitch, and then single crochet the next 2, and you'll repeat that. So bobble in the next single crochet, and then single crochet the next 2. Repeat that across for row 10. Row number 11, you're going to chain 1, single crochet the first 2 together, and you'll keep doing that all the way across. So 2 together, 2 together. And then finally, the last row, you'll chain 1, you'll single crochet into the first 2, single crochet, and bobble into the next, and you'll keep repeating that all the way to the end. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to fasten off, leaving an 18-inch tail so you can go down the back. For the largest size, for row number 9, you're going to chain 1 and 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together, and you'll keep repeating that across. Row 10, you're going to chain 1, bobble into the first stitch, and then single crochet in the next 2. So you'll be repeating that across. So bobble and then single crochet the next 2. Row 11, you're going to chain 1, 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then single crochet 2 together, and you'll keep doing that across. So single crochet by itself, and then 2 together. Row number 12, chain 1, you'll single crochet in the first 2, and then a bobble into the next. And you'll keep repeating that across. So single crochet the next 2 and bobble. Row 13, chain 1, single crochet 2 together, the first 2 together, and then do single crochet 2 together all the way across. And then row number 14, chain 1, bobble into the first single crochet and single crochet the next 2, and you'll repeat that across. So bobble and then 2 by itself for single crochet, leaving an 18-inch tail for weaving in end. And it says all sizes then you will use the tail to seam down the back of the hat and weave in the ends. And then we're going to be moving on to the ears. But before I continue there, I am going to continue with row number 9 and 10 for my side so that I can finish, and I'll pick you there up in a moment. So for the 16-incher, this is the small size that I've been working on. We're going to just chain up 1. Just chain up 1 and put the first 2 together, single crochet 2 together, and you'll keep doing that all the way across. Okay, so just the next 2 together, and meet me back here in a moment. I'll turn my work and we'll do the last row together. In row number 10 for the 16-inch, the small size, we're going to chain 1 and we'll bobble into the first one. Okay, got that one done. And then single crochet the next 2. So you'll do that all the way across. So bobble and then 2 by itself. Please do this all the way across to finish off your smallest size hat, and I'll be back in a moment. So I'm now officially done. I am going to leave an extra long tail, says about 18 inches, I'm just guessing. And I'm just gonna trim my work, and I'm going to pull the loop up here. And I'm going to pull that through so it will lock it. And what I want to do is that I want to seam this hat. So I'm going to turn it to the wrong side out, okay, or inside out I should say. And what we're going to do is we're going to collect that on the seam, and then we're going to work our way down and put things together. And let's do that next. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to take my tapestry needle and I'm going to weave it through the remaining stitches that were on the top. So we want to gather that so it turns into a bunch. So it'll bunch it up at the top. We want to make sure that when we pull, that the bobbles are going to stay inward because we're looking at the inside out. Okay, so we got that done. So it's just pulled them all together. And so what has happened here is that when we did this, one bobble is on the edge of one, and then the bobble is indented in. So it's just going to kind of puzzle together like a gear, I suppose. So you're just going to come onto the edge of this side and then to the edge of this bobble here. And this is called a whip stitch. And we're just kind of matching things as we go. And just move down and match. Try to get 2 strands on either side of the join to make this happen. Okay, and you're going to work all the way down the hat, doing the whip stitch, and then we'll flip this. Okay, and I'll be right back in a moment. When you get to the brim area, just match stitch to stitch. You know that there was only 6 stitches that were in the brim itself, regardless of the size you did. So if somebody's going to email me wishing that this hat was probably done in the rounds, you can figure that out on your own if you wish to do that. But it was never written that way. I think it's possible, but it's got to be a total rewrite. Okay, so once you get that done, you're then just going to secure in your loose ends. So just come on in. Any loose ends that you will have, you want to do the same way. So just come in and just lock it. So going through. And then once it's locked like that, so I just made it kind of tie onto itself, and then you'll just weave it here on the inside of this seam going vertical. So I'll have to do that with the starting strand as well, and then we'll flip this and take a look at what we have in just a second. Moment of truth. I haven't done it yet, so we'll see what it looks like. So there you go. So we know that this is kind of the front of it because we folded it, and the seam line's in the back. So we maybe want to continue to leave that there. And we are going to be moving on to doing the ears next. So let's move along and do the ears. You need to make 2 of them, and it involves 2 pieces. If it were me and you weren't watching me, I would do the inner ear, both of them at the same time, so that you have it over and done with, and then do the outer ear then. And the outer ear, it's like a pocket is in behind because there's 2 layers that's been put together. And when you go to position this onto your hat, you're going to want to fold it and position it to give it a really cute look. Now, the yarn that I'm using in the interior here, I don't have any pink yarn. I know what kind of tutorial host doesn't have pink yarn. You're looking at them. So I just substituted with another brand of yarn, but you can do that as well. And if who says the middle has to be pink? It could be blue, it could be anything that you would like. So let's begin, and let's do the inner ear first. Okay, with the pinkish color or the inner ear color that you've decided for yourself, there's no rules in crochet, so you decide what works for you. You're going to chain 11. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and let's begin the first row. First row, we're going to go second chain from the hook, grab the back hump of the chain. What we're going to do is go down the chain, turn around, and come on the underside of the chain to go around. So we're going to go second chain from the hook, get the back hump, and you're going to single crochet all the way across your chain, except for the last one. We're going to put 3 single crochet into the last one to cause it to spin, so that we're going to go on the underside of the chain. Both the outer ear and the inner ear, the first 2 rows, are exactly the same of their implementation. And I'm going to tell you a little trick instead of having to count once we get beyond the first row. Is it a trick or just common sense? I don't know. Okay, so on the last chain, which is not this one but the next, you're going to put 3 single crochets there. Just let the project turn upside down on its own. So 3 into the last. So we have 1, another 1, 2, and another one is 3. So just look how I just naturally turned it upside down. So just tuck this, just pull it tight. Your first stitch to go back across to the end is right here. Okay, and what I would do, just take this tail and just crochet right up over top of it to get it stuck underneath. Then you don't got to sew it in later. And just single crochet yourself all the way to where you began. So you're not creating an oval shape, you're just going back and forth on this. And it would help if I could crochet it too, right? Right, so once I got it covered a bit, I'm just going to just toss it to the back, get it out of my way. It's never going to fall out, and it will be buried in between the ear anyway, the outer ear. So just single crochet then. Okay, and I'm going to go right to the last one, which is right here. Okay, so that was row number 1. You're going to turn the project and like this. So row number 1 is the right side. Remember that. Remember the way it looks. I will give you orientation lessons later, and we're going to begin row number 2. In row number 2, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet yourself. It does give the stitch counts number if you need it, but I'm going to give you a tip so that you don't have to bother. So I'm just going to single crochet, whistle Dixie. I don't even know what whistle Dixie means, but it sounds fun. Okay, and what I'm looking for is the middle one of the grouping of 3 in the edge. Okay, so I got 1, 2, and 3. I'm just looking at the stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3. So it's the middle one right here. It's the end. So in the end one, the group, you're going to put 3 single crochet there. And I am using spare yarn, so I do have a knot. So I want this knot to be, if this is the right side, I want that knot to just kind of come in behind. I should actually just redo this whole thing, but I'm going to pull that knot so it gets stuck in behind the work. So it doesn't come on the other side. This probably happens to people more often than we want to imagine. So, and then do a third one. Okay, so I want the knot to be on this side. So when I look at it, you don't even see the knot. So once there's 3 into the edge, just continue to single crochet down the other side. And this is the inner ear. And I want you to remember the orientation, and I will correct you on that as well, or I won't correct you. I'll show you what the orientation should be when you execute the outer ear, because the outer ear is going to use a portion of this. So come right to the end, you're good to go. So you'll want to fasten in your yarn, the yarn tail that you buried over. Okay. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. And the reason for it, it will help me to see that this is the wrong side because I pushed it to the wrong side when I was crocheting over top of it. So when we go to look at it, just take this like that, okay? And the right side of the work, okay, is right here, okay? So it should be bubbling up towards you that on the second row. So this should look more sunk. That's the right side. So what I'm going to do is start the outer ear, and we'll do that next. Okay, so we're going to do the outer ear. The first 2 rows are the same. And we're going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So let's begin row number 1. Row number 1, second chain from the hook, get the back hump of the chain because I think it looks nicer, and just single crochet yourself all the way to the other side. So what are you going to do on that last stitch? Yes, you're going to put 3 single crochet to cause it to spin, and we're going to come on the underside of the chain to go back. So the other yarn I've been playing with is just a scrap piece of yarn because you don't need a lot. So the last stitch is going to be, or the last chain is going to be 3 single crochet. Let the project naturally turn upside down. Okay, you want to bury that tail in. So the first stitch going back is right here. Okay, and single crochet all the way back across. So this, what we're doing right now is actually the back behind the ear, and the inner ear is going to sit on top of this, and then we're going to crochet the 2 together. That's the plan, at least. Okay, so you're going to come right to the end, last one right there. Okay, and now you're going to turn your work and begin row number 2. Row number 2, chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet across, and you're going to put 3 single crochet in the middle single crochet that was on the end, just like we did with the inner ear. So you do got the stitch count on the pattern itself, but it's the middle one. Okay, so it's the middle one of the grouping of 3. Put 3 single crochet in that one. 1, 2, 3, and just continue to go around. So now it's just 1 single crochet all the way back to the beginning, or sorry, to the end of the row. Okay. And what we want to do before you do anything further, we want to turn our work and get ready for this. So when we turn our work, we're looking at the right side of this. And so see where this tail is. We're going to grab the inner ear, and we're going to leave the tail exactly where it should be as well. So both of them ended at the same point of the wrong side. So when we turned it and going back, the tail of this, where we ended, it should be the same as this. So I'm going to toss this out of my way. And so what I want to do with the outer ear, I'm going to chain 1 and position this with it. So sandwich it together, and starting with the first stitch, it's right here. You're going to go into that first stitch of the inner ear and the same stitch that matches on the outer ear. And you're going to single crochet. So you're just matching stitch of the one ear, stitch to the other, and going across. So the very middle stitch of the grouping of 3 on the end over here is still going to have 3 single crochet to let it turn. So this is a way of keeping the inner ear a different color. So I'm looking for the grouping of the middle. So it's right here. So I got one more to do. And then it's the middle one, has 3 single crochet in it to allow it to turn. So we got 1, 2, and 3. And now you're going to single crochet back to the other side. So you're noticing that when I showed the ear, it was bent towards me. That will happen in the next 2 rows. So right now it's sitting completely flat, almost like a rabbit, almost. So you don't hear me counting stitches, I don't need to. Just match stitch to stitch. And now we're going to turn our work and begin rows number 4 and 5, which is the same information. So let's turn and let's begin those 2 steps. Row number 4 and 5, we do not need to count. We just got to chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across the row. We're not going to add any stitches to the end of the ear, and this is going to cause it to bend forward, because the last row that we're doing is going to end on the right side of the work. And because of that, it'll bend naturally towards the right side when somebody's looking at somebody wearing this. So when you just get around to the end, because we're not adding any extra stitches, it causes it to buckle, and it causes it to naturally fold in. And you see it just naturally happening already. But the next row is definitely going to make it even better. Okay, so we'll do this row. Right to the end and in. So we're going to turn our work and do your final row. I won't stay with you the whole thing. So just chain up 1 and just 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way to the other side. I'll see you there in a moment, and you'll really start to see it kind of fold in here at the top section, which is what we're looking for. I'll be right back in a moment. Once you get to the other side, leave a longer tail than normal, because you're going to use that tail to sew it, and all the rest of the tails you're going to have to get rid of those. Okay, so you'll have to weave those in. If you went up over top of the first chain stuff like I did, you can just cut that out. You don't have to worry about that. And the other one, what you can do here, if you don't feel like weaving it in, you can just tuck it on the inside of the pocket, or in my case, I will try to weave that in, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I've already shown you how to weave in back and forth, and just do that same procedure for that. The first step I would do is just get these guys ready. And you'll notice that with this, they don't sit flat out like this. They actually have a bend. So what I'm going to do is just fold it together like this. And just gonna whip stitch to cause this to naturally fold. Okay, and I'm just gonna go across. And so it's already ready and folded by the time you attach it to your project. And this pink area will be next to the hat, so you won't see that. Okay, and you're going to want to do both like that, so you can get them both ready if you want to. So now it's ready to attach, and I'll be right back. Okay, I now have them both ready, and it says to examine the photo and to position the ears where you think it's going to look the best. So the ears naturally on a lamb are kind of out like this, so we don't want to position them like a rabbit. And you could also just bend them down to be a sad little lamb if you want to. Okay, so let's grab the hat and let's see where it's going to work. So here's the hat. I can still have my right side there. You see that? The back looks pretty decent too. The seam line looks pretty awesome, so it's good. And so I'm looking at the photograph, and it's near the top, and it's directly out. So it's somewhere there. So what you could do, and just follow it along the bobbles to see where that is, to make sure it matches on the other side. So once you're fully committed to that, you can decide that. You can even pin it to your hat if you wanted to, just to take a look at it and see if that's what you want to go. So you just got to be careful you don't stab yourself through this. So I'm going to commit to it's going to go right here. Don't overthink it. And go right in. Okay. And then back down into the hat. So I'm going to take my time and make sure that this is really fully attached so you can flex it later. Okay, so just keep attaching till you think it's nice and strong. No wrong answers. Well, the only wrong answer is that you don't secure it enough. So I'm going to go to the inside of the ear now. I'm only going to stay within the white area though because my yarn is white. I don't want to interfere with the pink. And I'm going to do one more on this side of the white area. Back down. And I'm already attached on the back side here pretty good. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to turn it to the inside, and you're going to do the other one on your own. Turn it to the inside, and I force it through some yarn strands on this side. Don't go all the way through, and you're going to have it tie itself into a knot. So just go through the loop and tie. It is the inside of the hat, but if you're going to sell it, just weave in your ends just a little bit so that you don't get any loose ends, so somebody doesn't look at the inside and say they want a discount. Okay, sounds good. So what I'm going to do is just examine where that went on the one side. Okay. And just kind of follow the bobbles and get the other one ready and just kind of match the positioning of it. Okay, and just kind of follow it along. It's just right about there. Okay, and I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that's good, and I'll be right back and I'll have this attached. So my little ears are attached. I can remove it with my stitch marker to tell me what the right side was. It's pretty obvious at this point. And you're good to go. And now you're ready to have a cool hat to play with. So have fun, and we hope you enjoy.